buildings. If you are sightseeing within the society, yes, within the cities, within the different districts of the cities, pay attention to any older buildings that are related to orthodoxy. So these may be old government buildings that are no longer being used, the original ones, the original sites. This may also relate to cathedrals and powerful works of spiritual and organizational orthodoxy-based infrastructure. These buildings, these locations are strategically placed upon the chakras within that area. The same can be said for sacred statues and monuments. These will also be energy centers. Now, of course, those energy centers sort of are stamped with the makeup of your society and the symbol sets your society has built upon them. Nevertheless, that doesn't stop you from interacting with them at all. If anything, it can be even more useful. Now you have a reference point. Just think of the building, just think of the statue, and then bring yourself deep into the earth. Now be aware of that, like attracts like, so don't inner earth journey in areas where perhaps the energy is not to your liking. Do this in locations you deeply enjoy. Travel to some of these older structures and find the ones that really emotionally move you. Those will be the ones to energetically entangle with. In relationship to the more natural chakras, the wild ones, many of them will be underwater. So pay attention to sacred lakes, pay attention to sacred rivers. Even within the cities, if there are canals, pay attention to some of the more iconic, more beautiful, more spiritual portions of the canal trail. Look into this. This will help you find the underwater ones. Those, of course, you can most easily access through astral projection, but if you're able to swim in those bodies of water, you can swim over the chakra and you'll absorb some of the energy. So in nature, whenever you find the ground mysteriously dips into the earth, just a small random hole in the ground, this is usually a chakra. If you're in the woods and all of a sudden the elevation changes and it sinks just in one spot, maybe you can fit your foot into that hole, that's a chakra. If you find other things like mounds in the woods or in nature, either small or large, the ground is maybe a little hilly, but then there's a large noticeable mound. This will likely be a chakra. So look for points of depression, look for points of elevation. Furthermore, any types of natural manifestations that you find on the land will give you hints as to the nature of certain energy centers and their presence. For example, if you find trees that are spiraled, yes, the bark seems to spiral around the tree instead of going just up and down, it spirals. It's on top of a chakra. Any locations with mountains or interesting rock formations that, again, are building, they build up off the earth towards the sky. These are going to be chakras. So your earth gives you hints. Some of them are subtle. You might not notice them, just like certain acupuncture points on the body. They're not always clearly defined by landmarks. They can be the more challenging points to find. This is where dowsing rods will be useful. This is where your pendulums will be useful and your own psychic senses will be useful.